Hello party people, it is Will Pemble. We are back in the garage, and when we left off I had reached a bit of a stopping point. I had figured out exactly where I wanted to put holes in this here piece of metal for our Iron Dragon wheel assembly, the first version of the Iron Dragon wheel assembly, but I didn't have a 1/2-inch drill bit, but now I do. So we are going to jump right in. The whole idea is that we want to get 2 4-inch diameter, really heavy-duty wheels on each of the 4 corners of the Iron Dragon cart. So we're gonna get some nice, lots and lots of nice big wheels on this cart, so that it'll go fast and smooth. So I'm going to start out by bolting this thing up to my drill press and starting to chop some holes and things. So we'll get started with that right now. Okay, so here's just my first set of holes in the first half of the first wheel assembly, and I want to kind of make sure that everything is gonna mostly work, mostly fit together. All right, so my big old 1/2-inch bolt / axles pop through here, all right? Then I need to break a couple of these wires off of here so I can start to actually use these awesome wheels. I had a good comment, which we'll cover in detail on comments, but one of the comments was, hey, what about concave wheels? You see, these wheels are not exactly concave. I might try to figure out a way to grind these down so that they're at least flat and maybe actually form to the track. But for this one, what happens is this goes on there. This piece goes on there. Right, these might be a little bit too, these bolts might be a little bit too short. We'll see. But then, if I find a piece of track, see if we can keep it all from spilling all over the place. So these are pretty big wheels, pretty thick wheels. One of the things I really like about these wheels is they've got these spacers on the inside that allow the wheel to, I'll get my thumb off it, allow the wheel to spin even when you tighten these things up pretty tight, so we can keep the whole thing pretty strong as we go. But so I get all of that plugged in. Here's my rail, my piece of rail, and I'm thinking I'm going to stick with this 1 1/4 inch outside diameter tubing for the track. I may go up. I haven't decided for sure yet, but basically, if you've got this wheel assembly rolling along this track, that's going to be really smooth and really fast and really solid. I am super excited about this notion here. See that? See how cool that rolls? So now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to figure out how I would go about getting the side stop wheels to match up, and I want those side stop wheels to match up just like that, right? I want to think of it like a box, right? So imagine the rail right in here, right? Get the dust out of that. and then the side stop wheel just like that. So it's really, really tight, really precise, and at the same time it'll roll really fast and really, really fluid and be really flexible. So that's kind of my goal in terms of putting this thing together, and I'm not quite sure these holes are in exactly the right spot. Actually, I think what I've done is, if you look at where I drilled this hole right in the center here, this one, in order for these guys to match up just like that, this will have to be out a little bit farther. And so what I think I need to do is, I think I need either bigger angle iron instead of what have I got here, 2-inch angle iron. Maybe I need 3-inch angle iron, and then I can get these wheels up even higher. Or it could be that I could, instead of putting them at 1 inch, I could put them out a little bit farther, but that might weaken it some. So I want to think about that a little bit as I continue the design process here. I'm going to give that a little bit of thought, and I think I'm gonna like re-drill these holes right now. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So here's the thing. I've got 2-inch angle iron, right? That's 2 inches from here to here and 2 inches from here to here. I've got 4-inch diameter wheels, which means from the center of this wheel to the outside of the wheel is also 2 inches. What I want is for this wheel, the edge of this wheel, which we'll call the top wheel, imagine the track, right? This is where, here's a piece of track, right? So here's a piece of track, and this is the main wheels for this side of the track, right? So imagine that. That's my piece of track, right? That's the outside. As I just showed you, I need this wheel to match right up like that, so that the cart stays on the rails, but I can't have these guys bumping into each other. And looking at the way this thing is built, I can't do that without a bigger piece of angle iron or adding an extension or something like that. And so I could weld something on here to move this thing out a little bit farther and down and all of that. But what I really ought to do is I really ought to head off to the hardware store and get myself some 3-inch angle iron, or maybe go off to the steel store. It'd be a lot cheaper there. If you buy steel at a home improvement store or a hardware store or something like that, you pay 2 or 3 times market rate just because it's in small quantities and it's convenient, but it's really expensive. So find a good place to buy steel, and you'll get a much better price. So what I need today is I need to zip off to the hardware store and pick up some 3-inch angle iron, and then I can build these wheel assemblies with this I can build this great big thing a lot better, because the way I'm doing it now, I'm just gonna end up having to weld pieces, and it's gonna get weak and ugly and all of that, and we've come this far. I don't wanna do it poorly. So we're gonna stop here with what I'm really happy about is this piece of wheel assembly. These wheels, they spin like crazy. They're super strong. Each of these will hold like 600 or 700 pounds. I forget exactly which, but they're really, really strong. So it's going well, but I gotta go get another piece. And so what we will do is we will pick up next time, and I will get these things drilled out properly. We'll get them welded together, and we'll see what one of the Iron Dragon wheel assemblies is really gonna look like. But I'm really happy with the way the thing is coming together. I just gotta go get more bits and pieces. So thank you for helping me bring physics, family, and fun to kids everywhere. I am super grateful for all of your support. Thanks for helping me keep it going. Please like, please share, please subscribe. I'm gonna go get some more bits and pieces, and I will see you soon.